Hello children, how are you all? Let's continue with our lesson number 3 today. But before that, let's see what is our today's thought. Do what is right, not what is easy. So always choose the right thing for yourself, not the one which is easy. Okay. So let's continue with our lesson. Today we are going to study something about the water cycle. You know very well about the water cycle. You must have prepared many science models on this topic. You must have seen the same, isn't it? So let's study in short what is water cycle. If you see in the diagram children, the water on the earth's surface, okay, whatever water is there on earth, it gets continuously heated because of the heat of the sun. It gets boiled up because of the heat of the sun. So this boiling of water is basically known as what? Evaporation. Okay. But when water gets boiled up, it gets converted into water vapor. Water vapor in Marathi we say वाफ, पाण्याची वाफ, isn't it? So after boiling of this water, water gets converted into water vapor. So basically boiling of water, that process is known as evaporation. Okay. Now once the water gets converted into water vapor because of the heat of the sun, that water vapor gets cooled down. Now this cooling process is known as condensation. Okay. But after cooling of this water vapor, what happens? This water vapor again gets converted into water. The same thing we get in the form of rain. So basically children, water cycle is a combination of evaporation, condensation and then uh, rainfall. Again I repeat, water cycle is nothing but a cycle of evaporation, condensation and rainfall. Okay. Two more names you will see here. This is the extra one which we see. Precipitation is nothing but the rain formation. Okay, raindrops. Okay, formation of rains. That is the precipitation. Okay. And what is transpiration? No children, the leaves of the plants, through those leaves of the plants also, no, the water comes out in the form of water vapor. That process is known as what? Transpiration. Percolation is what children? Once this rain water will fall on the ground, no, this water gets percolated. Percolated means what? Going into the soil or going into the ground. Percolates into the, going into the, so the same water, it goes into the ground or on the surface, and again the same water gets evaporated, condensation, rainfall. Through leaves of the plants also the same water is going up for the formation of water vapor. Water vapor gets cooled down to form rain, and this rain water again falls on the ground. It also go into the inside the ground or on the surface of the ground. The water remains here. Same water again, the process goes on, goes on and on continuously. So this cycle continuously goes on in the nature. Okay. But again basically I repeat children, this water cycle is basically a combination of three process. Okay, evaporation, condensation and rainfall. Okay, the other name for this rainfall is what? Precipitation. Evaporation is what children? Simple boiling of water, heating of the water, boiling of the water. Now why this water gets boiled up? Very simple, because of the heat of the sun. So this boiling of water is known as what? Evaporation. Now once this water gets boiled up, it gets converted into what? Water vapor. Now this water vapor, after rising upwards, this water vapor gets cooled down. Okay, so this cooling process is nothing but the condensation. Now after cooling of this water vapor, what we get is basically again the water in the form of rain. So that process is nothing but the condensation. Okay, so evaporation is the boiling of water to get the water vapor, and condensation is cooling of water vapor to again get the water in the form of rain. Okay, so this rain water, it goes on the surface of the earth. Okay, this rainwater, it forms on the surface of the earth on the ground, and the same water again continuously gets boiled up, gets cooled down, and again we get water in the form of rain. Okay, so basically water cycle is a combination of three processes: evaporation, that is boiling of water; condensation, that is cooling of water vapor; and the falling of, or when we get the rains, that water vapor gets cooled down, and what we get is the rain, formation of rains. So this is nothing but the water cycle. Did you understood about the water cycle children? Did you understood about evaporation and condensation? Okay, simple. Evaporation is the boiling, condensation is the cooling process. Okay, and the rain formation. Only three things you have to remember in water cycle. Okay, evaporation, condensation and formation of rainfall. Okay, but boiling of water gives us water vapor. Cooling of water vapor gives us the water again in the form of rain. Let's read out what is written here. Evaporation. The process of water turning into what? Vapor on boiling is called evaporation. So when water gets boiled up, it gives us water vapor on boiling because of the heat of the sun. That process is known as, children, evaporation. What is condensation? The process of water vapor converting or turning into again water in the form of rains. Just now we saw on cooling is called condensation. So when water vapor, it gets cooled down, what we get is the water in the form of rain. That process is nothing but the condensation. So the process of evaporation, condensation and rainfall go on in a continuous cycle form on the earth, and this is called water cycle. Okay, this goes on continuously in the nature, children. Evaporation, condensation and rainfall, formation of rain, this process goes on continuously. But remember always, evaporation is the boiling of water. Boiling of water gives us water vapor. And what is condensation? When the same water vapor gets cooled down, and when we again get water in the form of rain, that cooling process is nothing but the condensation. So evaporation, condensation, rainfall goes on continuously in a cyclic form. That whole cycle is nothing but the water cycle. Let's see this diagram. I told you before in the beginning of the lesson also, remember, hydrosphere, lithosphere, atmosphere. Lithosphere, the land portion of earth; hydrosphere, water portion of the earth; and atmosphere is the air. Okay, if you see this diagram, this image, you will see animals in all the spheres of the earth. See here in the hydrosphere, you see some of the animals, fish and octopus is there, isn't it? On the land also, that is in the lithosphere also, you will see many animals. In the atmosphere also, you will see many animals, birds, like, isn't it? So you will see animals or living things in all the spheres of the earth. Now when we are talking about the living things, children, it also include plants. See, in the hydrosphere you see plants, in the lithosphere also you see plants, isn't it? So you see living things in all the spheres of earth, in the hydro, in litho and in atmosphere. So you see living things, variety of living things in all the three spheres of earth. And remember what meaning we have seen about the bio. The meaning of word bio is living thing. Okay, so you see living thing in all the three spheres of the earth. This is nothing but the biosphere, isn't it? Let's read out. A great variety of all the living things seen on lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere together form a biosphere. Okay, so when you see all great variety of living things, all the living things in litho, in hydro and atmosphere, it together gives us the biosphere. Bio is life, living thing. In different regions of the earth, okay, there are varieties of plants and animals. They are typical for that region, children. Typical, they are specific in that region. Now, what is the meaning of this specific? For example, polar bear you will see only in the polar region. So this particular animal is specific in this region, typical in this region. Okay, African jungles are very famous for this zebra. Now you know very well Australia is very famous for its kangaroos, isn't it? So this particular region have that particular variety of animal. Now regions of hot climate, you will get elephants and lions. Okay, so you see this great variety of animals and plants in that particular area or in that particular region. Okay, this is nothing but the biosphere. Again we will just revise the definition of biosphere. A great variety of all the living things, whether it is plants and animals. When you see that variety in litho, hydro and atmosphere, it together gives us the biosphere. Okay, let's just once see water cycle. Evaporation, the process of boiling of water. Okay, when water gets boiled up to gives us water vapor. On boiling, it is nothing but the evaporation. And when the same water vapor gets cooled down to again gives us water in the form of rain, that cooling process is nothing but the condensation. And the process, the combined process of evaporation, condensation and rainfall, when it goes on and on continuously in a nature in the cyclic form, it is nothing but the water cycle. Okay, so today you have understood two important terms in the lesson, children. One about the water cycle and second about the biosphere. Biosphere, when you see all the varieties of living things, plants and animals in hydro, litho and in the atmosphere, it together forms the biosphere. Okay, bio is what, children? Living things, life. Hydro is water, litho is land and atmosphere is air. Okay, yes. So what is your today's homework, children? You have to write down all points which we have learned today in your notebook. So which are those points? You will write down about the water cycle and about the biosphere, which we have seen just now. Okay, in your notebook without fail. That's all for your today's EVS 1 period, children. Okay, we will again continue in the next period. Till then, bye to all of you.